Barrett Hayton is a guy who's a super high draft pick who's not quite panned out, but still has a lot of skill. And I think, again, the Rangers are not in that like, let's put a project young guy in the middle six. I think there's a greater sense of urgency for them to try to turn this thing around quicker.
Right.
But he's a guy that intrigues me that, if he's in a spot where, and he's, whether he was in Arizona or now in Utah, it just sort of seemed like he was a guy that they put a lot on his shoulders early on in his career. He clearly wasn't going to be that kind of guy. He wasn't going to be a number one line type player. And now he's been surpassed by a few other their homegrown players. So he's kind of like lost in the shuffle a little bit. I think that happens a lot with guys that get drafted high by teams that don't quite pan out right away. You just sort of feel a little bit like who am I in this organization? So it could definitely use a change of scenery. If it was a lower cost deal for a guy like him who's got, I think, a year left before he's an RFA, I would be willing to take a flyer on Barrett Hayton, put him in the middle six, see what he can do. Like you said, you mentioned Ty Cartier, a different situation where he's on waivers, and he was certainly not a top 10 draft pick like Hayton was. But that's kind of the guy for me where that's what the Rangers need is guys in their 20s, a little more cost control. Maybe they haven't quite popped where they are, kind of like how we've seen from Braden Schneider. The reason that he might be on the trading block, that it's just maybe not going to work out here for the skill set that he has. So, Hayton's a guy that maybe things shuffle out the right way. He could play for my Ranger team, I think.
I wouldn't mind him on the team. I think if the Rangers were going to try projects, then I think this was the year to try to do it. And internally, at least they have by trying a lot of their younger guys like, Melosh and Sikora and all these guys. But the Rangers right now,